What do you think of the Republican spending bill?
The big beautiful bill.
Yeah.
Okay, look, the bill basically extends the tax cuts from 2017, that famous TCJA, right? Tax Cuts Jobs Act 2017. It makes a lot of those tax cuts permanent, and then there's additional cuts in there, and it has new increased spending in the defense and border protection. So what the bill really does is it extends the current tax cuts that are expiring, and it makes the lower tax rate and the larger standard deduction now permanent. And a lot of people will say, which I do agree, that these cuts are skewed towards the higher income brackets. But the biggest concern here is, you know how our deficit's ballooning right now. The bill reduces our tax revenues by 4 trillion over the next decade by the CBO. This is numbers coming out of the CBO. And to pay for these programs, they're cutting some federal healthcare programs and other social assistance programs. The biggest impact millions of people are going to feel is that they may lose their Medicaid coverage, right? And then they're also cutting things like SNAP and Planned Parenthood. And I think here basically what the Republicans are doing with this bill is, they're trying to do things that the old school Republican Party has always pushed, which is for economic growth, we're going to cut taxes and we're going to spend more money on national security. The problem in this case really is that it comes at the expense of healthcare and government assistance. The impact of what they're trying to do is going to be felt most by the lower ends of the income bracket. Just like Ray Dalio's book, The Changing World Order. This is another example of the widening of the income gap that Ray Dalio talks about, and it's getting more and more prevalent in our society.